There's been arguments about it for years and years and years. And with comic book movies becoming more popular a few years back, thanks to Iron Man, with the MCU, Marvel Studios, pretty much, everybody knows there's tons of superheroes out there and supervillains out there, not just the top three. You know what I'm saying? And we all know what the top three we talking about. People who are not even comic book fans know who the top threes are. You know what I'm saying? Are you ready for this? Excuse me for a cough. I'm a little dry on the weather, pretty much. So the top three is pretty much obvious: Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man. Two of the characters happen to be from DC Comics. The one character happen to come from Marvel Comics. But these are the top three superhero characters that everybody knows about around the world. You know, you don't even have to be a comic book fan to know who they are, because you see their likenesses, you see their symbol. You know, from novelty like birthday napkins and merchandise and so on, all over the world. So everybody know who the top three is. So the argument is always this, like, who is better? Who's the best of the top three? Spider Man, Superman, or Batman? And let's break down Superman. You know, he's a fucking god, pretty much. Like, he comes to Earth, and that's when he got superhero powers like unstoppable, fast, strong, heat vision, freeze breath, X-ray vision, light. And the only weakness he got is a green rock called kryptonite. And of course, they say magic is also his weakness too. That's another thing. But really, it's the green rock kryptonite, and that's what I grew up on. And the he gets his power from the sun, so that's why he got his superheroic powers. And nothing cannot stop him. Like I say, only kryptonite. But the thing with Superman is, let's be real, he does not have the best storyline in comic books. Let's just be real. And as time goes on, they try to give him deeper storylines, so deep that it's like, oh shit, he could be humanized after all. There is some weaknesses besides the green kryptonite, which is his love for Lois. You know, so that happens to Lois, he's gonna be berserk. You know, there have been storylines where they do showcase that. I think the only good storyline that's the strongest point in him is of course the death of Superman. But he does have other storylines too, but they're not like epic. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, to me, for me, and this is my opinion and my thoughts of the top three. You could do your own video about it, but Superman doesn't have a good storyline, but he is a good character without a doubt, of course. If it wasn't, he would not be a top one of the top three right now. He got a good villain gallery, which of course Darkseid is like the baddest villain of the all comic book DC comic universe, pretty much. But then you got other comic book villains from other comic book companies after Darkseid, you know. So no offense, Darkseid, he was my number one guy. I kind of move on to like the lesser villains that kind of have a high impact, but that'll be another show for another time. But actually, funny thing is, I just did that episode. It's called Doctor Doom, so check that out. That was my first episode for this show. So yeah, actually, Doctor Doom is my number one. But I moved on, you know. But Darkseid is still a top five villain. Don't get me wrong. Now let's move on to Batman. Now Batman, he's no Superman. He doesn't have superpowers. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have superpowers, but he's a cool guy. He has the cool Batman outfit, his gadgets. Everybody like his invention, and he's a human being, but he's a rich ass human. He's a rich ass human with a lot of money. Of course, he can afford all that shit, but he does have a history, and he does have a lot of deep dark storylines. He has a lot of great epic comic book moments. You know, he has a great villain gallery, and Batman is like one of the, I would say, mostly a lot of people number one superhero pick, Batman over Superman, because people feel more relatable to Batman because he's human and he has to be in a world full of superpower characters in the DC universe, pretty much. In this case, and he got a lot of good hero characters around him, like Robin, for example, Tim Drake, Damian Wayne is my favorite. You know, once he came to the scene, and of course Harley Quinn, a villain that everybody likes. You know, and she's also an anti-hero now, as of right now. Joker, one of the top villains in the Batman gallery. You know, so Batman is definitely epic over Superman. So I'm gonna rank that because he just got a good story, good storyline events, great villain character gallery, great hero gallery also, and we got a deeper storyline than Superman. Let's be real. Now we're gonna go to the Marvel side, and one of the top three, of course, Spider Man. Um, people mostly relate to Spider-Man because he's not a godlike character. He's not super rich, but he's like a nerdy kid, you know. And speaking for me, I can relate to the nerdiness of Peter Parker. And when he got bit by Spider-Man, I mean, bit by the spider, excuse me, he becomes Spider-Man, you know. He got superpowers like strength. Um, he can stick to walls. He's fast. Not fast as the Flash, by the way, but he's fast. His webs comes from his adventures, so he's super smart. Kind of like Batman, but he's not rich as Batman. But I guess he gets funding from the college to build those devices. um, Spider-Man do have deeper storylines. He does, especially Craven the Last Hunt. You know, he got a great, he got a good hero gallery. Now he got a much better hero gallery, like allies around Spider-Man, especially with different Spider-Man from different timeline. So his hero gallery is growing bigger and bigger now. You know, especially with Miles Morales Spider-Man. That's a good example, and Silk, who happened to get a series on Disney Plus, which is in the works. What I heard of, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. You know, I can't wait to see that. And Spider-Man got a villain, just like Batman. Spider-Man got a very huge villain gallery, which all their villains are awesome too, just like the Batman villain. So I would say Spider-Man, Batman are pretty much tie. You know, like they both got epic storylines, cool look, cool background, um, cool hero gallery, cool villain gallery, and of course epic storyline. So between Batman, Spider-Man, and Superman, it's like Batman and Spider-Man. It's like a tie for me. It's like they both number one. Superman, I can't say number three. I'll put him number two now, since I'm taking like I know it's like an easy route I'm taking, say that Spider-Man, Batman is a tie, but it's like to me it's the same thing. It's just the only difference is Batman is human and he uses human traits to survive and do his thing, while Spider-Man is also have he is human, but he has powers from science pretty much. So, but it's their gallery level. So when it comes to superpowers, of course Spider-Man will top Batman, but when it comes to overall, it's like I feel like they're the same thing in my opinion. You know, just minus that one difference. So when it comes to the top three superheroes, I would say Batman and Spider-Man, they're both my favorite and a tie. Both number one. Superman is in second place because due to his storylines are not really that epic. You know, he probably had about the death of Superman, Red Sun is one, the old man Superman, I forgot the Holy Trinity. But still, it's not enough epic storyline for Superman as how Batman and Spider-Man got their epic storylines. You know, with different sagas and different chapters, and you know that impact their lives in comic book. You know, like Spider-Man, like Sinister Six, for example, or the Craven Last Hunt, which I just mentioned, or Batman Long Halloween, for example, or the Hush saga, pretty much, or the death of the family with the death of the second Robin, which is another epic storyline, which is kind of crazy. Which, like I said, Batman have much more than that, by the way, which I mentioned specifically with Spider-Man. But those are just little examples, though, what I'm giving you guys and gals. But so those are my picks on my top three superheroes. Or what are your top three superheroes from this list of Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man? But with superheroes becoming so more popular and more big, you guys know there are other superheroes and supervillains out there now. So the question is, what is your pick now?